$2,000 gold, the net present value goes up to $117 million US. That's about $150 million Canadian. But guess what? The market capitalization of the company as it stands today is around $20 million Canadian. So there's a huge disconnect between the two figures. But you're only talking about going to $2,000 gold. Now, I'm not allowed under the regulations to talk about what's the value at $2,600 and $2,700 gold. You can work that out for yourself, because when you look at it, it's gone up about $45 million in net present value from $1,800 gold to $2,000 gold. So you can extrapolate going forward to $2,700 and see what the net present value would be, because the costs remain fixed, but the revenue increases in a straight line. So I'm looking forward to the day when we update the PEA or whatever the document will be at that time, and be able to inform the market what the true value of the project is at the current gold prices.
John and Ken, good day to you. How are you?
Really good, thank you. Good to see you again, Andy.
Hi, Andy. Great to see you.
It's great to see you. For all of our listeners out there, John and Ken are with Sonoro Gold Corp. I am an active investor in their company. I fell in love with them and then the company last October. And gentlemen, I would love to talk to you a little bit. Let's start with 24 in the rearview mirror. If you can just reflect on that a little bit, on what happened, where the company was at, and then we'll go to what we're looking for into 25. John, let's start with you.
Okay, Andy, good to see you again. Good to talk to you. It's a very comfortable conversation. I must say that. You make people relaxed. I'm just going to focus on the market and the financial side of things here. Ken, the president and CEO, always talk on the technical side. So when I look at this with my sort of financial eyes and how we've performed, I would say that we probably, in many ways, outperformed other juniors. And I look at Sonoro and say, we started the decline in our share price at the beginning of the year. That was due to the fact there was people unsettled about what was going to happen in Mexico. There were rumors about no new licenses going to be granted, banning open pit mining, etc. And then in February, when the prior president announced a proposed ban on open pit mining, which the media dropped the word proposed, and around the world it said open pit mining is banned, we saw our share price decline in February, and it dropped down to an ugly level of about 4 cents. And we realized there was nothing we could do to defend it, except say to people, look, we believe it's never going to happen. Mexico is gold, silver. The Mexicans speak Spanish because they want the gold and silver. So we're very fortunate. And as you know, we have a strong European shareholder base, 40, 50%, who knows what it is now, but a strong shareholder base. What they did, they basically were happy, but they were prepared to average down and buy the stock. So throughout the dark summer months, we saw our shares bouncing along 3.5, 4, 4.5, etc. And so we recognized that the new president would come in on the 1st of October. And it so happened that we were in Sweden just prior to that. And the Swedes, who we have a great affection for, because we found that their investment attitude is similar to the Germans and the Swiss, which is this a 3-year project? Is this a 5-year project? And they want to get into the details. Is it really a company or is it just promotion? So we had a very good meeting that was organized over there. And coming the 1st of October, when the new president was sworn in, all references to proposed ban on open pit mining disappeared. And then you would have seen the stock started to move up steadily. It moved all the way up to 9, 10 cents, trading 10 million shares or so, right? And then it sort of hovered around there. It touched 11. And with the new election in the USA, it did drop for a short while. I think there was a lot of uncertainty, but then it started to come back. And now we're steadily at 9.5, 10 cents. And we're really comfortable there because at this level, what we've been able to do is to demonstrate that we're not peaking. we're basically recovering from where we were a year ago. And bear in mind, the share price was as high as 30 cents, 35 cents. And the insiders, our average cost is 15 cents. So we're all rooting for this to come back. So we have two attitudes in the investment world. We have those who, when the new president came in, decided they're going to take the same view as the RIT rule, which is the time to look is when everybody else is focused elsewhere. And they came in. And there's been solid support that's come through, and particularly not just Sweden, but from the USA. We've never had such a following in the USA as we have now, and that following can be seen in the US market. And so we're very comfortable when we get to this level. And so as we move forward here and come to the tail end of this year, we can look back with a great deal of sort of satisfaction, knowing in our hearts what we believe will happen in the first quarter of next year or the second quarter, which Ken will talk about. But we should make a point that during the year, it was necessary for the insiders to advance loans to the company. And I think the loans currently stand about $3.6, $3.8 million. And there are two sides to this. Well, why are there loans? Why is it necessary to have loans, etc.? I want to clear a couple of things. First of all, the loans are unsecured. There are no conversion terms. There's no special deals made to the insiders for putting up this money. Unsecured, no conversion terms. We anticipate that we get repaid from either production or possibly project financing. So then why was it necessary to have these loans?
Ron, if you don't mind me interrupting you, you told me that in Florida on camera, and that's what made your company really attractive, because I was new, that I was doing business with some really good people, some really good men. So go ahead.
Okay, so thank you. Yes, I just wanted to make sure that people understand that the loans were not necessary as a result of bad management. Quite the reverse. It's a commitment of the management to it, because we're in 2022 going ahead to production. We had project financing lined up. We had potential equity lined up. Everything's looking rosy. We're moving forward. Then when we weren't able to get the mining license, the lender naturally backed off. They've not gone away, but they backed off. And so being unable then to get the project financing, we still had to make the property payments. And so the loans relate primarily to property payments that the insiders have put up. So I just want to make sure that your listeners understand that the commitment of the insiders goes well beyond the 25% we hold in the company. It's the fact that we are supporting the company with loans with no special benefits as a result of that. And there's no intention of rolling back the stock. So people should be very comfortable that the company's being governed by serious business people who are committed to take this project to production, in fact, have the capability of doing so. So I want to cover that point, because one of the things has come up, well, why are we doing this financing? No. Well, we're going to actual financing it at 9 cents. It's basically fully subscribed, and it will close, and the insiders will take a position if they need to. And we always allow our shareholders to come first. If they take the position, then we stand back. We will always ensure it's fully subscribed. So that financing will close. And we are looking at December the 13th to close that. And I think until that happens, it's almost, use the word Mexican standoff, they're a bit humorous, maybe, but we're stopped at that price level of the financing, 9.5, 10, 9.5, 10, right? So once we close, I feel quite comfortable that we're going to go through the usual year-end selling period. People, sell stocks. But I think we're going to be pretty strong. I think we're going to be pretty stable, and I would hope that we'd end up at a higher price by the year end. So that's my assessment of the company. We're good, we're sound, we take care of our responsibilities. That's how I see the year. That's how I see why the share price came down and why it came back up. And it reflects the fact that we have very solid European shareholders expanding now to Sweden and importantly to the USA. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And again, this is not an endorsement, but of the company, but I am an investor, and I felt very comfortable with John and Ken enough to put my money in. But again, this is not endorsement. Do your own due diligence. Ken, how are you, man? And really
Great.
good. Yeah. Give me your
So
stuff.
you have a question regarding 2024 and what's going on?
Give me again your very high level 24, but then let's move it forward into what to expect in 25, the first quarter.
Well, I think John alluded to much of what I would be discussing as far as the technical side of 2024 is concerned. You have to go back to 2022 when we filed the environmental impact statement, went through the entire question and answer periods, and by 2022 December, we fully expected to have the MIA approved, MIA being the environmental impact statement in Spanish. And so we went into a holding pattern. And unbeknownst to us at the time, it was President Lopez Obrador had sort of decreed that no permits would be granted for open pit mines at that point. And it didn't come to light until, as John mentioned, February of 2024, when they came out in the open and said a proposed ban on open pit mining. Well, the beautiful thing that has occurred since then, of course, is we have a new president in Mexico. President Claudia Sheinbaum is really, while she's of the same political party as a prior president, she's a very pragmatic engineer that's running the country in what I consider to be a very business-like manner. And so, first things she did was implement plan of action to bring the mining companies together with the government. And so now we have meetings between the senior levels of government and the representatives of the mining company, where we sit down and we work out any differences of opinion on any issues related to the mining industry. So that is something that didn't happen in the prior 6 years under Lopez Obrador. Sheinbaum has also expressed and announced to the world effectively in meetings in Mexico City with the U.S.-Mexico Forum, where she announced that your investments are safe in Mexico. And, there were over 200 CEOs present at that meeting. So when you make that kind of declaration, you put your honesty right behind on the line. And she's, I believe, a very honest person. And other things that have taken place since then, of course, indicate that we are on track now, that we're in the environmental agency, SEMARNAT, is now actively engaged in reviewing projects. And I'm expecting to see the results of those reviews over the coming months. So we're coming out of a deep freeze in Mexico, and we fully expect that Q1 of 2025 will see the results of the change in policy under President Sheinbaum. And we believe that Sonoro will be one of the recipients of the environmental impact review process in a positive manner in Q1 of 2025. So we're looking forward to what I consider to be the banner year for Sonoro, which will be, in my opinion, 2025. And that's when we start the process for construction of the mine. And I look forward to sharing the information with you as we develop the major milestones along the way.
Excellent. And I also want to comment to both of you and all of our listeners and viewers that all of the analysts we had a few analysts that wrote about you guys in the past year or two. That was at a much lower gold price, and it certainly helps the company with 2,500 gold, doesn't it, when you guys are going into production?
Well, yeah, let me expand upon that a little bit, and I'll quote from the PEA, which was done in October of 2023, and gold price was trading around $1,800. And we had a pre-tax net present value at $1,800 gold, or $71.4 million US. That translates into, that's over $100 million Canadian. And then at $2,000 gold, the net present value goes up to $117 million US. That's about $150 million Canadian. But guess what? The market capitalization of the company as it stands today is around $20 million Canadian. So there's a huge disconnect between the two figures. But you're only talking about going to $2,000 gold. Now, I'm not allowed under the regulations to talk about what's the value at $2,600 and $2,700 gold. You can work that out for yourself, because when you look at it, it's gone up about $45 million in net present value from $1,800 gold to $2,000 gold. So you can extrapolate going forward to $2,700 and see what the net present value would be, because the costs remain fixed, but the revenue increases in a straight line. So I'm looking forward to the day when we update the PEA, or whatever the document will be at that time, and be able to inform the market what the true value of the project is at the current gold prices.
The people have put out opinions on what they believe this project may be valued at gold of $2,600. But again, as Ken said, they are independent opinions. They're not ours. We can't condone them, or we can deny them, etc. But they are out there. And I'd like to make a point that should be understood. There's two things. Is that these numbers only relate to 1/3 or 30% of the known mineralized area. So all of the numbers that we look at here, think what they could be if the other 70%, which we know are mineralized, if it contains a similar amount of gold. Then, of course, the value, again, increases. That's right, as far as I can say, but it's a matter of that we can only speak to us in our PA, but it is a fact that the other 70% of the property is mineralized, and it is a fact that we have a business plan which dictated we stop drilling, because that's a point that some people raise. Oh, well, you go to production because that's all you have. Absolutely wrong. Totally wrong. We are business people, commercial. As you know, we have separate disciplines. We have geology, engineering, finance, and marketing. We made a very conscientious decision. We would stop when we knew we had sufficient to go to production. And then from the cash flow, we will explore the rest of the surface mineralization. And in due course, investigate maybe what's underground. We have some high-grade indications in the presentations that you've seen, which would indicate the potential of underground. But we never gave in to this pressure to go high grade. We took the view, perhaps boring for some people, no, that's playing roulette. We want to make sure we have a profitable operation. We want to be able to develop it from cash flow, not keep drill. And we understand why junior companies do. Many junior companies do not have what we call the 5 essential components, which we've been through a few times: the people, the project, the structure, the business plan, and access to funds, right? We have all that. We can do it ourselves. And so other junior companies who are good are faced with the fact that they have no choice but to drill, because they may have good grades, but it depends on the location. It may be a project that requires $500 million in capital costs. It may take 10, 15 years for permitting. So yes, you can have all the wonderful highlights, but unless you look at the complete picture, you don't get the full story. And the good thing about our project, Sonoro, is that from when we have our MIA, Ken and what it is estimation is that it'll take us a year to get to production. So we are, in fact, use the word production ready. Let's just say we're at the stage where we've done as much as we can, but when we get the MIA, then we go fast forward. So we're looking at a whole new pattern. So again, when considering Sonoro Gold to the other junior companies, that should be understood that this is a business, a commercial business. It's not a promotion. And I'm not being negative about other junior companies. Those guys are doing the best they can with the tools that they have, but they may not have 45, 50 years experience in doing it. They may not have the expertise to go to production. They may not have the ability to secure the project financing or the technical know-how. And the fact that our project financing is like $15.5 million US, most people will sort of shake their head and say, will you say that again? Because they're expecting much larger numbers. Now, I shouldn't speak about that because Ken always does, but it is a fact that our project is a very low capital cost, and the way it's structured means the minimum amount up front, all to do with driving the minimum dilution.
I think as well, Andy, I may add that for the benefit of your viewers, that ongoing news, of course, is a very important element of any kind of marketing campaign. And how do we achieve that when we're going through the construction phase? Well, there will be milestones, of course, during the construction phase. But we can also recommence a drilling program, because we'd like to add another $1 million or $2 million to the capital costs to enable us to start the drilling. And if we can do that, and we have identified 9,000 meters of potential drilling in areas of higher grade and very, very attractive mineralization, and we should be able to add to the size of the resource on that basis, but also importantly, increase the average grade as well. I think it's quite likely that that could happen. So the end result of that would be that by the time we actually construct the mine and go into production, we may have enough of an additional resource that we can then redo the mine plan to extend the life of mine possibly, or increase the daily capacity or throughput, and see a potential increase in the average grade as well. So all of these would be very positive factors that I would envisage over the coming year to be able to present to the shareholders.
Excellent. Thank you, gentlemen. A couple of things, John, very well said to both of you, John, but I want to say to you is another thing that really attracted me to Sonoro Gold was that you're about to be cash flowing, and that was very important to me. I can't tell you, just from my perspective as an active investor, juniors, when they don't have anything else, they just start drilling. So there's not really a plan to get this into production. So I want to thank you for that. But again, that was very attractive. And then Ken, thank you for your comments. Another thing that you want the best of both worlds, right? You also want growth. And so laying out the plans that there's ample room for growth of the shareholders. So
I want to think if I can just expand upon that, Andy, just for a second. The management are having to hold me back from going out there with the drill bit right now. I intend to go there as quickly as I possibly can, because it's going to result in a positive impact on the overall plan.
I got it. But you guys are two, you're the yin and yang. You're good for each other.
It's hard to deny that Ken is correct. But you've said right too many times.
It's a viable strategy. It really is. And I wouldn't even say I'm against that, but I guess it's the Warren Buffett that I try to pick up, and that's really to see cash flowing businesses. That's what I learned from Warren Buffett. So I'm appreciative of that. So, gentlemen, I want to thank you so much. It's only been a couple of months, but it's been a fun ride so far. It's been a very good ride. Again, I can't stress enough to our listeners and viewers, do your own due diligence. I do have money in here. That is not an endorsement. So do your own due diligence. But I've been very, very pleased and happy with Sonoro Gold. Thank you. Happy holidays to you guys.
Thank you, Andy. And may I just leave it with you and your listeners. They should never be concerned about contacting Ken or me directly. Yeah. We're happy to talk with any investor or potential investor, handle all the questions, and respond as much as we can without inside information. We will give it on our usual, I think, open and transparent way. And yes, I think 2025 is going to be a good year. 24 was a tough one, no doubt, for everybody. But at the end of it, we've managed to achieve a share price on volumes that actually make us feel really good. Thank you.
Looking forward to sharing it with you during 2025.
I'm looking for that. Thanks, gentlemen.
Have a good Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Bye-bye.
Happy New Year.